In this video, we'll be discussing when small problems become big problems. Nothing that ends up at in a tribunal starts as a big problem. It started as something small that got left. Nobody wakes up with a £40,000 fine or £72,000 rent repayment order. It never starts that big. It starts as something genuinely minor. A bit of condensation on a window, a slightly off stiff door, a smell that comes and goes. That kind of thing that's easy to look at and think that's not really a problem. Here's how small stays small or doesn't. Condensation left unaddressed becomes damp. Damp left unaddressed becomes mold. Mold is a recognized serious health hazard under HHSRS, category 1, in fact, right? And that carries the potential fine of £40,000 per offence. A stiff door might be masking a subsidence issue or simply becomes a fire escape risk if it gets worse. So to your eye, it may not look like a big thing, but to the trained eye, it becomes a big thing. It could be category 2 hazard. But then what one officer may see as a category 2 hazard, another may see it as a category 1 hazard. So it differs from officer to officer as well, right? So now if we none of these started off as, right? So let's look at another example, right? A smell that comes and goes might be a slow leak, quietly causing damage somewhere you can't see. None of these started as a category 1 hazards. Most category 1 hazards started as something small enough to ignore. The property doesn't go from fine to serious hazard overnight. It drifts more gradually, and it is unforeseen that cannot be seen by your eyes or by your letting agents. But these are things that we are trained and the enforcement officers are trained to see. Right. So once again, as I'm saying, the property doesn't go from fine to serious hazards overnight. It drifts from gradually. One ignores small thing at a time until it's suddenly not small anymore. And the moment it's found in its escalated state, nobody asks how minor it started out. The consequence is based on what it's become, not what it used to be. So what's the solution? So don't judge a problem by how small it looks today. Take every reported issue seriously, however minor it seems. Address it before it has the chance to develop into something small. So this is another reason why. So if you use our CRM system, so you're updating everything, you're getting a risk assessment done at that time. So we've got the risk a bespoke risk assessment tool in there. So if you then needed our consultation, we're able to see things, and it's going to be far more cheaper for you to do at that stage. So we go into that later on, yeah, right? So so what you need to do is get a proper category 1 and category 2 risk assessment survey done regularly, right? So you need to get them done at least at the start of a tenancy and the end of a tenancy, not just when something already visibly wrong, because the whole value of an assessment is catching things while they're still small, right? And so they do not become a costly fine, right? So now become a free member with us, right? Become part of our Angel Moves free membership, right? It costs you nothing. It means small things get caught while they're still small and cheap and easy to fix. And we'll go through the other membership options that you are there, right? So now the action that you need to be taken. So before we go through the action you need to take, let's just quickly recap. Every serious hazard we've ever assessed, right, started something as a landlord could have looked at and thought, that's nothing. Don't let that be true of yours. Book your free 30-minute consultation today, no obligation. We'll help you understand what's worth taking seriously now. Make sure, if you haven't already, get yourself booked onto your category 1, category 2 risk assessment survey while they're locked at very super cheap prices, right? And make sure you become a free member. So we will by becoming a free member, we bring you enforcement activity in your area. So this ain't standard newsletters, etc. It costs you nothing, right? To become a free member with us, right? And if you haven't, make sure you get trained. Make sure you get trained on where your risks, where your risks of how to protect yourself, the risk of under existing and future legislation, protect yourself from fines and penalties of £40,000 per offence, and rent repayment orders that could be anything from £24,000 to £72,000, right? So make sure you get all these things done. And the thing is, at least get yourself booked on your free 30-minute consultation where we can go through everything. Any questions you may have, because this legislation is not small. These changes are not small. And there's many gaps in the knowledge. Your tenants are getting trained up. You need to get trained up as well. Your tenants are more educated than you are. So take advantage of this free 30-minute consultation, because this could be the difference between, like, you know, having your property and not having your property. This could be the difference between 40 to 50,000 pound fine plus, what, you know, and not having it. Same, like 24 to 72,000 pound rent repayment orders and not having to have them, right? So get yourself booked up today. We look forward to seeing you soon.